aliens disclosure. UFO 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 aliens disclosure. Let's go.
Okay, so today we're going somewhere pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Billy Carson?
I have.
So he's kind of making some waves with these theories that he has about ancient civilizations and extraterrestrials and alternative science and all that. And we're going to take a deep dive into his work, focusing on his claims about the Anunnaki and their supposed impact on human history.
Yeah.
And we've got articles and excerpts and even some podcast transcripts that we're going to kind of unpack.
Sounds good.
So if you're into ancient mysteries and alternative histories, you're gonna like this one.
Well, and I think what's really interesting is that, Carson doesn't just present these ideas as like speculation,
Right.
He really tries to kind of weave together these ancient myths with modern conspiracy theories and his own kind of interpretations of scientific findings to create this really compelling narrative.
Yeah, and that's what makes his work so intriguing, but also kind of controversial.
Yeah.
Before we get into all the nitty-gritty details of his theories, let's just start with the basics. Who is this guy and what's his platform?
Sure. So Billy Carson is an American entrepreneur, author, and TV personality.
Okay.
And he bills himself as an expert in ancient civilizations.
Uh-huh.
And he's the founder of Forbidden Knowledge TV.
All right.
It's a platform that hosts a variety of documentaries and shows that are really focused on consciousness and ancient mysteries and alternative theories.
So he's created quite a space for himself in this realm of alternative knowledge.
He really has, yeah.
Now let's get to the heart of it, the Anunnaki.
Okay.
Can you give us a rundown of his core claims about these beings?
Yeah, so his central claim revolves around the Anunnaki, who are powerful beings from Sumerian mythology.
Okay.
He believes they weren't just these mythical figures,
Right.
but they were advanced extraterrestrials who visited Earth thousands of years ago.
Okay.
And he suggests that they actually played a direct role in shaping human history through genetic modification.
Whoa, hold on. Genetic modification.
Yeah.
That's a big claim.
It is.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, he suggests that the Anunnaki genetically engineered early humans to serve as a labor force.
A labor force for what?
Primarily for mining gold.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he believes that they needed gold for some purpose related to their home planet,
Okay.
possibly even to manipulate its atmosphere.
Wow.
And he points to the emphasis on gold in ancient cultures as potential evidence of this.
So in his view, we might be walking around with a bit of Anunnaki DNA.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
And the gold rush wasn't just a human phenomenon.
Right, exactly.
That's pretty wild.
It is. And he doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He also links the Anunnaki to the construction of monumental structures.
Like
The pyramids.
the pyramids, wow.
Yeah, he argues that the technological prowess required to create those structures would have been beyond the capabilities of early humans.
Okay.
So he sees those structures as evidence of the Anunnaki's advanced knowledge and technology.
So it's like this blend of ancient history and science fiction almost.
Almost, yeah. It's a very unique perspective.
It is, but what do mainstream scholars and scientists make of all this?
Well, most historians and archaeologists interpret Sumerian texts as mythology,
Okay.
not literal accounts of extraterrestrial intervention.
Right.
And they argue that there's really no scientific or archaeological evidence to support the idea of large-scale gold mining for extraterrestrial purposes,
Right.
let alone the genetic modification of humans by the Anunnaki.
So we're seeing a clash between interpretations here. Carson is presenting a narrative that challenges our conventional understanding of history and archaeology.
Exactly. And I think to really understand this clash, we need to look at how Carson constructs his arguments.
Okay.
He's connecting dots that most researchers don't. He's drawn on this wide range of sources, and he's interpreting them in ways that often deviate from mainstream interpretations.
He's definitely putting forth a very different perspective. And it's one that's obviously captured the attention of a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
But as you mentioned earlier, his work is also surrounded by a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
So what are some of the main criticisms that have been leveled against him?
Well, one major criticism is that he's accused of spreading misinformation.
Oh, okay.
particularly regarding his interpretations of religious texts and historical events.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, so for instance, he's made claims about Jesus having a wife
Okay.
based on a papyrus fragment that was later proven to be a forgery.
Oh, wow.
So that raises questions about, the accuracy and the rigor of his research.
Yeah. Are there other instances where his claims have been disputed?
Yeah, his scientific accuracy has also been challenged.
Okay.
For example, he suggests that the ancient city of Mohenjo-Daro in Pakistan was destroyed by a nuclear blast thousands of years ago.
A nuclear blast.
A nuclear blast, yeah.
Wow.
And he cites radioactive skeletons as evidence.
Okay.
But mainstream science attributes the city's decline to more natural causes, like climate change or river shifts.
Okay.
And there's no credible evidence to support the nuclear blast theory.
So it seems like we're seeing a pattern here. Bold claims, but they often lack the scientific evidence to back them up.
It does seem that way.
But it's important to note, though, that just because a claim is controversial or goes against mainstream thinking
Right.
doesn't automatically make it false.
Exactly.
You have to examine the evidence carefully and weigh different perspectives.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this deep dive so important.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to simply dismiss or endorse Carson's claims.
Right.
We want to analyze them critically and help you, the listener, understand the nuances of this debate.
Right. It's about encouraging critical thinking and informed exploration.
Exactly.
So, with those controversies in mind, let's move on to some of Carson's other intriguing ideas.
Okay, that's good.
But actually, before we do that,
Yep.
I think it's important to highlight
Mm-hmm.
that Carson doesn't just talk about the past. He connects these theories about ancient civilizations to, like, our present and even the future.
He does, yeah.
Oh.
It gets really interesting.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of connections is he making?
Well, he suggests that the Anunnaki might be returning.
Wait, hold on, returning?
Yeah, potentially influencing global events and technological advancements.
That's a pretty bold statement.
It is.
What leads him to that conclusion?
He doesn't really offer concrete evidence for their imminent return,
Okay.
but he points to certain global trends and patterns that he believes hint at their growing influence.
Okay.
And he ties this into his claims about ancient advanced technology,
Mm-hmm.
suggesting that, we're not as advanced as we think we are, and that we've lost crucial knowledge along the way.
Okay, let's unpack this idea of lost ancient technology.
Okay.
What specifically does he point to?
Well, he often cites the precision engineering of structures, like the Great Pyramid of Giza,
Okay.
the intricate carvings found in ancient temples,
Mm-hmm.
and complex astronomical alignments
Right.
as evidence of technological capabilities
Yeah.
beyond what we typically attribute to ancient cultures.
So he's suggesting that they had a deeper understanding of mathematics and engineering and astronomy than we give them credit for?
Exactly. He even brings up the Antikythera mechanism as an example.
What's that?
It's a 2,000-year-old device
Oh, wow.
that was discovered in a Greek shipwreck.
Okay.
And it's essentially an analyte computer
Oh, wow.
that's capable of tracking celestial movements with incredible accuracy.
I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
That is a truly remarkable piece of ancient engineering.
It really is.
Yeah.
And mainstream archaeology marvels at it
Mm.
as a testament to the ingenuity of ancient Greek engineers.
Okay.
But Carson sees it as potential evidence of a much more advanced technological heritage,
Okay.
perhaps even influenced by extraterrestrial knowledge.
So he's drawing a connection between this ancient artifact and his broader theory of, like, advanced civilizations in the past. But what kind of technology are we talking about here? Does he give specific examples?
He's often vague about the specifics,
Okay.
but he suggests that ancient civilizations may have harnessed forms of energy and
Sure.
possess tools that we haven't even rediscovered yet.
Huh.
He often talks about a golden age in the distant past,
Okay.
a time when humanity had a more profound understanding of science and technology than we do today.
This golden age concept, that's a recurring theme in a lot of alternative history theories.
It is.
But is there any tangible evidence to support it?
Well, while Carson presents some intriguing anomalies and interpretations, mainstream science generally attributes ancient achievements to human ingenuity and innovation,
Okay.
not to some lost super civilization or extraterrestrial intervention.
Right.
They argue that while impressive ancient technologies are still explainable within the framework of human knowledge and development.
So it comes down to how we interpret the evidence.
It really does.
Is it evidence of human innovation pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible?
Right.
Or does it point to something we haven't fully grasped yet?
That's the core of the debate.
It is, and it's important to note that even within mainstream archaeology,
Yeah.
there are ongoing discoveries and reevaluations of what ancient cultures were capable of.
Absolutely.
The field is constantly evolving as new evidence comes to light.
It's fascinating.
That's what makes exploring history so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a continuous process of discovery and reinterpretation.
For sure.
Now, I know Carson doesn't just focus on ancient technology.
Right.
He also delves into the realm of consciousness.
He does.
What's his perspective on that?
This is where we move into more metaphysical territory.
Okay.
He believes that consciousness is not simply a product of the brain,
Okay.
but a fundamental aspect of reality itself.
Okay.
He argues that ancient cultures had a much deeper understanding of consciousness and its power, and that we've lost touch with this ancient wisdom.
Okay, so we're moving beyond archaeology and into the realm of spirituality and metaphysics.
Yeah, we're expanding the scope a little bit.
Yeah, what are some of his specific claims about consciousness?
Well, he often talks about the interconnectedness of all things,
Okay.
suggesting that our individual consciousness is part of a larger universal consciousness. And he incorporates concepts like telepathy and psychic abilities, and the idea that our thoughts can influence reality.
These are concepts that have been explored by various spiritual traditions and esoteric philosophies for centuries.
They have.
So how does Carson connect them to his theories about ancient civilizations?
Well, he believes that ancient cultures, particularly those that he associates with Anunnaki influence, had mastered techniques for harnessing the power of consciousness.
Okay.
He suggests that they use these techniques for everything,
Like what?
from healing and communication to manipulating energy and even influencing events.
So he's suggesting that these ancient cultures had a level of conscious awareness and control that we've lost or forgotten.
Yeah, that's the idea.
A paradigm shift. That's a powerful concept.
It is.
It suggests a fundamental change in our worldview,
Yeah,
our understanding of reality itself.
exactly.
But how does he tie this into his other ideas, like the return of the Anunnaki?
Well, he suggests that this rediscovery of ancient knowledge
Okay.
and the expansion of human consciousness might be connected to the potential return of the Anunnaki,
Okay.
or perhaps even a form of contact or communication with them.
Okay.
He often hints at this grand cosmic plan unfolding, one that involves the evolution of human consciousness
Right.
and a reconnection with our ancient past.
This is where his narrative really starts to push the boundaries of conventional thinking.
It does.
He's weaving together these elements of ancient history and extraterrestrial theories and spiritual concepts
Yeah,
into this grand, almost mythical narrative.
it is a very captivating narrative.
It is, and it's one that resonates with people who are seeking alternative explanations for the mysteries of our existence. But as you pointed out earlier,
Yeah.
the narrative relies heavily on interpretations and speculations that aren't really supported by mainstream science.
Right, and that's where the need for critical thinking comes in.
Absolutely. We can't just accept these ideas at face value
No,
without considering the evidence or the alternative explanations.
exactly. We need to be discerning.
Yeah, so let's apply that critical lens
Okay,
to some of the key takeaways from our deep dive into Billy Carson's work.
sounds good.
What stands out to you as like the most significant aspects of his theories, and where do those theories potentially fall short?
I think one of the most significant aspects is his emphasis on the interconnectedness of everything. He's not just presenting isolated theories about ancient aliens or lost technology.
Right.
He's weaving them together into this grand narrative about human origins and cosmic consciousness.
Right.
And a potential shift in our understanding of reality.
This very compelling narrative. And it resonates with people who are seeking a more expansive view of history and our place in the cosmos.
Definitely.
But as you pointed out earlier,
Yeah.
the narrative relies heavily on interpretations and speculations that aren't supported by mainstream science.
Right. For example, his claims about the Anunnaki genetically modifying humans, they lack any real scientific backing.
Yeah, and while the Antikythera mechanism is definitely an incredible feat of ancient engineering,
It is.
it doesn't necessarily prove the existence of a lost super civilization or extraterrestrial intervention.
Exactly.
So while his theories are definitely thought-provoking and they spark our imagination,
Yeah.
we need to approach them with a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Absolutely.
We have to be willing to separate the intriguing speculation from the verifiable evidence.
I think that's key.
It is, and that's where the importance of diverse perspectives comes in.
Yeah.
It's valuable to engage with ideas that challenge our current understanding, but it's equally important to consider the counter-arguments.
Right.
And the evidence that supports or refutes those ideas.
Exactly.
That's what makes a deep dive like this so valuable.
Yeah.
It's not about arriving at definitive answers,
Right.
but about exploring different perspectives, weighing the evidence,
Yeah.
and encouraging critical thinking.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, it's about empowering you, the listener, to form your own conclusions.
Precisely.
As you continue to explore these topics, remember that the pursuit of knowledge is an ongoing journey.
It is.
Be open to new ideas, but be discerning in your evaluation.
Yeah.
Seek out diverse perspectives and never be afraid to ask questions.
Well said.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the fascinating and complex world of Billy Carson.
It's been a journey.
It has. We hope this exploration has provided you with some food for thought, some new perspectives to consider, and perhaps even a renewed sense of wonder about the mysteries of our universe.
Keep questioning.
Yes.
Keep exploring and keep that spark of curiosity alive.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
UFO alien disclosure. UFO alien disclosure. UFO alien disclosure. UFO alien disclosure. Let's go.